What's going on, guys? It's Lady B. We had an incredible weekend of wars. INTZ pulling in the big prize in EWU. This is their war against Queen Walkers. So we had an incredible weekend of wars, and that included the ESL Open qualifiers, but with that, unfortunately, came some bans. It did not, however, stop INTZ from moving forward in the EWU, the Elite Warriors United, to win it all in the finals and win the $500 grand prize for that. And that's despite the loss of Ozzy. Now, Ozzy, aka Loop, unfortunately got caught in a ban, but Marinol and Bernal came in clutch, brought some additional accounts with them to play with their team this weekend and be able to get that victory over Queen Walkers. Now, this was an incredible match, intended to be a best 2 out of 3, but only went 2 rounds because we saw not only a phenomenal performance from INTZ offensively, but we saw incredible defenses from them as well, and you are not going to want to miss this. If you want to keep up on these live streams that I'm doing, you want to catch all the action live, make sure to head over to my Twitch channel, follow, turn those notifications on so you know when I go live. But you can also subscribe to my YouTube channel where I do post some of these highlights of these previous matches so you can see what you missed out on. So let's take a look in at INTZ with 2 rounds against Queen Walkers in the EWU finals. And there we go. Like clockwork coming in here. We've got Stadra bringing in that first attack for Queen Walkers and bringing it through with the Yeti Smash. Now, I noticed 3 wall breakers and a quad quake. Oh my goodness. Am I close to BMAX Town Hall 13? It depends on how you look at the glass. It all depends on your perspective of the glass. Is it half full? Is it kind of full? I like to be a glass half full kind of girl. So yeah, I'll show you later. Okay, so Stadra bringing in this Warden Walk to lead the way. Let's see if he's going to use the Warden to actually take on the Town Hall as he lines up this pathing here. But I do find it interesting that we've got the triple wall breakers and a quad quake to open up the core. Not that he maybe needs all of the wall breakers to go in for this one. He might just do a double air break and open up the core of the base. Yoakum calling a time fail on this one. We'll see. Yoakum, if this time fails, and not fails, if this time fails, I'll gift you a sub. How's that sound? There's your challenge. But it has to be a time fail and not a fail. I'm not a 7.13. It was a 9, okay? It was a 9. So it's like a 9.13. Leave it alone. So beautiful double air wall break. Quad quakes open that entire core here. King works around the outside edge. This is a beautiful push through inside the space. RC coming along that outside edge. We still have the Hogs to come to take on the other single IT. This is lined up very nicely. You can see Hogs and RC like bookends to take on those singles. The multi is the one last thing to worry about at the end. And the Eagle, but with the Queen ability still here and having a freeze. Were you calling a time fail on this one, Yoakum? Were you calling a time fail? This is the first attack, Chief. Yes. Now you can tell by the stats here because the stars come in. The attacks and percent come in before the attack even finishes. Ooh, this Queen takes a nasty turn. Eagle still remains. She has her ability. Not a lot to help out. Whoa. This is where the super wall breaker comes into play for the P.E.K.K.A to try and take on the Wizard Tower and the Eagle. Oh, P.E.K.K.A doesn't... What? P.E.K.K.A, come on. Come on. The King knocks him out. Oh, we've got another clutch wizard here. The clutch wizard coming in, trying to take on that Eagle. Forces a Queen ability, but he's got that multi. She's never going to get this down. Yoakum, you're out of luck. This is a fail, but that wizard... Oh, my goodness. Wizard trying to help out. It's a fail. You don't win that one. A very, very nice attempt here. We'll say, look at the percent, 93% 2-star. If you're not going to get the triple, that is not a bad place to be. So 2-star on the board. We've got Budweiser coming in. Celinio looking to take down Gaku. Now a triple will put them in a good head start. 1-star above. That's what they want to see here. But if they 2-star, they've got a tough contender here with that 93% that we just saw come in from Stadra. Yeah, what's up with these wizards? These wizards wanting to take on the Eagles. It's like their new AI. Brian, thank you for the follow. How are you, Brian? So we've got a little more Yeti action here. More wall breakers. More often than not, we're seeing wall breakers used for these openers, for the Yeti smashes, picking up a little bit better value. Nice work from the Warden here. Now this is showing exactly why you'd want to use a Warden. Topher, what's going on? Topher coming in with that resub. And more importantly, Topher back around on the scene. Topher, I was thinking about you the other day. Welcome back. I hope you're doing well. Let's catch up later. Thank you so much for that resub. Topher's kind of been on the front lines doing hospital work during COVID, so we haven't seen him around too much. But I hope we're going to see you streaming more. So he works his way through, but doesn't get the full push that he wanted to see. I mean, like this fizzled out before it even started. We are talking about massive defense here from Gaku. Talk about a dirty bait into that base. This is going to be insanely low percentage. QueeN's got a little more life in her, but not enough to really bring this one back around. This is a solid defensive start here for QueeN Walkers, especially holding on to such high percent in that initial push. Yeah, Gaku not letting his team down on this one. If you guys hear that, all that tripping around, that's Dora. You might see my green screen fall on me at some point today. So trying to pick up a little bit more percent. The Queen dies out. The healers lend themselves to the wizards to help. We've got some wizard walk action to pick up a little bit more percent, but with a 93% on the board, it's a tough one to turn around from. QueeN Walkers definitely set the bar high on that one, and with this defense, makes it a harder turnaround. Wizards are doing phenomenal work considering, but we're going to see it left here at that 76%. Wizard Walk is a new meta. Look at all that value you can pick up. Ozzy wrecked for MVP. Yeah, no Ozzy for MVP. All that hype, all that we were looking forward to seeing, unfortunately done in. The healers didn't change target to the Yetis. Yeah, that lost everything in the center of the base there. It fizzled out. The Queen took the focus, kept moving along. So we were tied up on stars, but overall percent, we do have quite a bit of a lead here for QueeN Walkers. So they're sitting in a good position. They're not sitting in an easy position. This could easily switch around. This first attack doesn't necessarily make the difference, but it does start setting the tone. This is a best 2 out of 3, Davey B. It's a best 2 out of 3. So that means we're going to see at least 2 matches. And depending on where it lands, if we see QueeN Walkers win, then INTZ win, then we'd have to go into a third match. Now, yeah, that's not a bug. That's not a bug. That's just where things are placed. Mike, are you German? Okay, Chuka's coming through. So no trips in yet this war. And what did I say? I said 14 stars. I said there was going to be 14 stars this war, 14 to 13. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know. We have to see triples coming through left and right. I might have been way wrong. We're going to see some big defenses this first round. No Dutch. You know that? I do. Did I know you're Dutch? Do you live in England, though? Are you in the UK? I don't know if I knew this. So Chuka's bringing in the QueeN Charge Hybrid. Nice opening there with the Yeti Blimp to help section off the pathing for the QueeN and also eliminating an IT along the way. That single IT not going to pose a threat to the QueeN here. QueeN's going to work her way in to try and target that scatter shot. Work her way in deeper into this base. The question is, where is he going to want to path the hybrid? Is he going to want to push the QueeN into the town hall side? Is he going to want to bring the hybrid up from that 12 o'clock side to take on that single IT? QueeN still has a nice path to push down. She can work her way into the eagle as well. Chichar, thank you for the follow. So it all depends where we see this king line up. Very patient with the QueeN. We see the king lining up from that 1 o'clock side, which means hybrid's going to come in on that single chamber. They can easily take down the town hall. That ability will do some good, getting them not only past the impact of the town hall gigabomb, but the scatter shot as well. QueeN's hanging on by a thread. Doesn't drop a rage, just forces the ability to work her through. He still has another wall breaker if he wants to get this QueeN deeper into the base to take on the eagle. He's able to keep that QueeN alive through the RC by raging her up, and she's just going to beat through the wall. He's not even worrying about dropping that wall break. RC doing some nice work right behind, backing up those hybrids. Holding on to that ability, which will be critical, kind of towards this back end to help get through the last of the defenses, especially with the king guarding the podium here. This hybrid's fizzled out quite a bit. And it's looking a bit tough to go now. This QueeN is still alive, but with the impact of that warden tower, which is no longer an impact, this RC doing her job and allowing this QueeN the access to help finish off. I mean, despite everything fizzling out, the hybrid not here to the very end, this RC and QueeN championed through it. QueeN beating her way through the wall. Not quite in range of that king, I guess. Just on the outskirts of that edge. King doing the cleanup, but 13 seconds left to go means there's not going to be enough time to get this done. This essentially is a time fail in the end. Chukas coming through with a solid hit, but just not enough steam to get this done. And that's because we saw the hybrid fizzle out. Yeah, very unlucky on that one. It was pretty clean for the most part. So INTZ just holding off Queen Walkers in each of these attacks ever so slightly, but percent is high. And this is what we've been talking about. We saw great performances between both of these clans in the semifinals, in the quarterfinals, but where we saw Queen Walkers with that slight advantage overall was on percent, which means we know they're both defending very well. But are we going to see the same sort of component here? We've got Bernardo coming through on the Bernal account. Let's see if I can actually get this going right. So Bernal bringing it in with the hybrid. QueeN's got some nice access to the town hall here. Just a single layer wall break to open up that outside edge and entice her to work around and through. Queen Walker's OP. They're putting up a good fight so far, but they're also leaving an opening here for INTZ to turn around and pick up the triples and take a star lead. That's the one problem. Despite coming in with those high percentages, they have yet to pick up the trips, and that leaves an opening. Skazi, thank you for the follow. So nice work for the QueeN here. Gets that town hall down. Are we going to see her path up towards the eagle? Yes, we should. Scattershot will remain open here. Nice use of the loon to try and pick up any possible traps. Hybrid coming through on the IT side of the base. It's a great position for them to be in, taking that on. Now, they are going to have to worry about a multi, which isn't ideal for them, but because they have the heals coming through and that warden ability, which should likely go off to keep them safe past the scatter shot. It's a perfect position for them. Gets almost everything within that radius. QueeN continues to move along, just forces her ability to try and get a little bit more value. Can she knock down that last warden tower? She'll get knocked out by the IT, but she's done some great work. And with what he has left over here, Bernal coming in solid. RC takes on the single that frees, just giving her a little bit more momentum and steam to get it taken down without worry. And the hybrid finishing this off solid. So this is where we're talking about that opening left for INTZ to come in and pick up those stars. And this is exactly what they do. So they move forward. While not up on percent, they are up on star count. Bernal doing some OP work on this. What's going on, baby boy Tiz? How are you? Bonjour, Ara. Ara, good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. Hi, hello for now. Max spectators. Yeah, lots of people watching these wars. Is that the mustache power? Let's see, Bernal. Let's see that mustache power. Is that what he's bringing? Yeah. He's bringing the mustache power. It's Bernardo. What did you expect? Yeah, and he's got 2 hits because we don't have Ozzy today. So we're going to see Bernal bringing in the 2 attacks today. Hi, Ash. How are you? Narifat says INTZ all the way. We will see. Majority of you guys said INTZ was going to come in with a win for these wars. And a good percentage of you guys saying INTZ we're going to come in with a win this first match. And we'll see. They do take the star lead now, but are under on percent. 1 player, 2 account allowed. I believe they might have made an exception because of Ozzy. From what I understand, they probably had to make the exception because of Ozzy. Yeah. So Ozzy now has 2 banned accounts, unfortunately, so he's not able to participate. Someone should do EWU solo. Imagine that, Husky. So let's see if we can sneak that in. I doubt we're going to be able to sneak in too many replays, especially if I wait so long. Yeah, because I wait too long and I get impatient. But let's see what Gaku has to bring to the table. Gaku coming in. Now, he is known to often not let his team down here. We saw that solid defense, 76% defense for him. Can he come in and help bring up the star count and try and get closer to INTZ? They've come close, but no cigar with these attacks. Great plans, but just kind of fizzling out there. Born, thank you for the follow. So bringing in with the QueeN charge hybrid. QueeN's got easy access to that town hall, but another wall breaker can push her deeper into the space to take on the single ITs. Now we are looking at a symmetrical base, so no matter which way that wall breaker goes, picks up some nice value for the QueeN. And he might even work it on the outside edge just to open that up there. So King and Pekka lining up the funnel for the hybrid, keeping this moving along. Pushes it through so that the hybrid will take on the other single IT, the one in the core, the eagle, and the scatter shot. So this warden ability, now that the town hall is down, can be used to actually get everything safely through past that eagle here. So that early ability getting them through the eagle impact. Wizard surrounding. We will have the hogs coming out for the scatter shot chamber on the 2 o'clock side of the base as the QueeN continues to path around. It was a great opening for her because she had easy access to take down that single IT and can work along the outside of the base here, not taking on too much defensive action, but able to take care of a lot of cleanup and take care of a lot of remaining defenses. But we do see Marinol holding strong through this one. That hybrid gets absolutely nailed past the scatter shots. Doesn't even take down that second. The single IT remains. I mean, this QueeN, despite being full health, she wouldn't have enough time, but with the single IT in the core, wouldn't have enough steam to get through. Gaku unable to keep his team moving forward and trying to get that star count up. What they are hoping for now is to hold a strong defense so they have the opportunity in the next attacks to try and get back up on the board. Ending in 2 scatters. It's not ideal. It's not ideal. I think that Warden ability went off just a little early. Maybe just a little bit early. Would have had better value helping them through that back end. So an 86%. We now see INTZ starting to gain control here. A triple from them, means we could see them coming back and holding some percent advantage on this. I know if you told me Gaku wouldn't triple, I would have said no way. I would have said no way. Did they use their world qualifier bases or what? I don't know. Now those bases should not be exposed because nobody streamed those wars. What's going on, Hangway Low? I have no idea what that says. Skazi. What does that mean in English? What Marinol would say. Good base can hold Gaku. I think they knew. I think they knew that they were going to have to do something to hold Queen Walkers back. And that's what we're starting to see. So Kawarudo bringing it in. And Kawarudo coming in with the Yeti Smash. Now we've got a Warden Walk to start this off. I agree. He's OP. But we also have some nice base building here. And Marinol definitely flexing on that. So Sneaky Goblins to help with the funnel and the top side of the base. Taking on those storages. And that's to lead this easy pathing moving through. We've got the double layer wall break that's going to happen with the super wall breakers here leading to the core, and then the jump to get to the back end past that single IT. It's a nice entry. Leaves that town hall there. We'll see the blimp come in to take it down as everything works through that narrow opener and entry here. That eagle reachable through the bounce, though if it doesn't go down, he can bring in the RC to take it on. King lining up that pathing to help out here. Ice Golem to come in. So the RC going to have to take on the eagle. Blimp coming through, taking down the town hall. Working out nicely, but will the RC have what it takes to get through what's needed? Bullers actually get a couple of shots on the eagle to help out. Town hall's down, nice and safe. This is a nice big push through. RC not moving in, but the king actually shapes this up to allow her the path to get in there. With the ability, she'll get this down, freezes it up to ensure it. Let's take the heat off the cannon. Nice work from the royal champ. Queen working nicely with the warden. Cleanup still available around the outside of the base here. And with the RC holding on to this ability, she can actually get rid of all these last remaining defenses in just a moment. See if that's what Kawarudo is going to do. A nicely timed ability to take out all remaining defenses. 4 down in that one single shot. And this is easy cleanup. This is putting INTZ 2 stars up now. They are not messing around here. INTZ on fire this round. We saw a slow start, a tough start early on. That 76% that we thought was going to do them in, but that's not the case. So taking over this lead on stars and on percent now. After that start that we saw, INTZ does not want to make this turn into a third match, it looks like. So Skazi says it's an expression he uses on his videos to describe when something doesn't go as planned. It would translate to something like advanced stage. No. INTZ be tripling all day with swags. They're doing some phenomenal work. I think, I don't know, that 76% was just like, that was just like testing the waters, trying to give Queen Walkers maybe a chance, maybe a hope. But I will say INTZ has been holding nicely on defenses because as good as these percents that we're seeing and the attacks that we're seeing from Queen Walkers, they're still being held off. It's high percentages, but still being held off, which is almost like teasing a clan. Maverick says Queen Walkers have already lost this one. He's calling it. I mean, you know, stranger things have happened. I know we're going into the last 2 attacks for each side, but we have, I mean, bad connections, bad Wi-Fi. There's so many things that could go wrong. Yeah, they're warming up. It's like a warm up for them. Yeah, 2 triples on the board for them. A third one does in Queen Walkers. But can we see Queen Walkers pick up some trips? If that's what they can do, if they can hold the rest of the defenses, pick up trips, but hold those defenses really well, we could potentially see this turn back around because we've got that 76%. Klaus coming in looking to see if he can be the one to get this motivation going, get it done, try and turn this around. No disconnect? I'm just saying. Things happen, you know? Kelvin, thank you for the follow. I'm not saying that's how you want to win. I'm just saying things happen, or like 1 stars happen. So Klaus bringing in the Sui Lalo. Now we see the Quake there. So the Quake's going to help to activate the Town Hall if need be. You notice the Stone Slammer. So he might have a directive for it to move through. Now the Sui entry, bringing in that jump to get the Queen pathing in. Ice Golem to tank for her. King also tanking to get her passed into the core of the base. This is an aggressive Sui opener with the RC included to take on the enemy Queen, take on the Eagle, take down a single, and take on some splash damage around those Wizard Towers to be knocked out. John, thank you for the follow. Does stars carry over? No. A win is a win in this. In a best 2 out of 3, a win is a win. So Stone Slammer coming in to tank for this early portion of the Lalo. Queen moving her way through, finally knocks out. But look at that value. This is what we would get to see with a Queen charge, gutting out the core like that. Big value on that one. So Quake's open the base. This is why we saw, or Quake's open the Town Hall. This is why we saw that Quake there, because he knew there was a potential. He wasn't going to have that 51% mark before bringing in the Lalo. Gives the Loons the access to come through. Warden ability keeps everything safely past and enough time to actually get through that scatter shot. This is a big push. No splash damage to worry about. And so many Loons coming through. Klaus grasping at straws here to try and turn this around for a win. And like we just said, a win is a win here. It's not stars that carry over like we see in a best of 2. This is a best 2 out of 3. So they need to pick up the win if they want to force additional wars here. But equally, they want to try and get back-to-back wins so there is no third match on either side. Nice split here for the Loons for the cleanup, but there was plenty of time on the clock to get it done. And Klaus absolutely wrecking it. Picks that trip up. The hope is alive in seeing this, but if we see a trip come in from INTZ, we know it's over and a first round win for INTZ. Beautiful Sui there. Let's see. We've got 12 minutes. Let's see if we have time to actually pop that back up. I'm going to 4 times speed it as I get the matches set up so we can see as we head into the next one. But can we please appreciate this opener, the Sui opener, and the value that he picked up, taking on that entire core of the base, similar to what you'd see with a Queen charge. What's going on, ODS? Good to see you. Hi, Alkaki. Yeah, Lalo's pretty amazing to watch, especially for, I gotta say, I'm not a Lalo attacker. I'm not great with it. I've never been great with it. So I really can appreciate it. Okay, and it's Marinol, the man, the myth, the Marinol coming through with the Yeti Smash. Again, we often see these wardens leading the way for the funnels here because they do pick up good value. They stay for the most part out of the range of a majority of defenses, though you do have to be mindful what they could be in range of because they can't take the heat, the same heat that the queen does. But what they can do is lend that range and reach over walls, reach to second layer defenses without having to use a wall break. And they also easily pull back in line where you can see a queen go on a walk. How are you today, ODS? Scuzzy's all for INTZ, but that was a great Sui Lalo. Yeah, I mean, you have to appreciate the attacks that come in from both sides. No matter who you're rooting for, we're always rooting for good wars. I don't think we ever want to see a blowout. We want to see nice, solid performances, and that's what we're getting to see here. So Warden reaches right over that wall where the queen wouldn't be able to take on the scatter shot. Beautiful opener here so far. We've got the siege barracks working its way up towards the 3 o'clock side of the base to lend to the funneling here. Everything going to work through into that town hall side. Very nice pathing here so far. Though we do see the P.E.K.K.A. working inside the space and not necessarily working to the outside. Everything going to work in here. Got a couple of additional Yetis to go on the outside edge. Smart to have that there to do the tanking for the witches. That'll work on the outside of the base. Nice push in. That warden ability keeps everything safe through, but he still has to worry about the impact of this eagle. Scatters are all down. It's getting through that and making sure he has enough steam to get through that single IT and the enemy queen. RC coming in for the multi. King doing the tanking here. A delayed king to help with that cleanup. Love this. RC cutting that outside edge. Queen's going to have to force this ability. She's able to reach over, knock out the single, do a little bit more work. She's holding on to that ability still. And he's wrecked this. Marinol coming through is saying, Queen Walkers, we're coming in with a win this match. If you want a chance for it, you're going to have to try better next time. Red Fury, thank you for the follow. So this means if Queen Walkers want a chance to win it, we have to see them at their ultimate best in the next matchup. They're going to have to fight harder. They're going to have to rethink the bases that they're defending with because INTZ has solidified it with this third trip. Now we'll still see the beautiful attacks to come in. And again, somewhere things could go wrong. You never know. I miss my ex. I'm sad. I'm sorry. Thank you for the follow. I'm sorry I laughed. That name, though, it's so tragic. Marinol. Big defense for Marinol. Big attack for Marinol. One attack left for each side, but we can safely say this round is going to INTZ as they stand with a 2-star lead as we head into the last attacks. What's going on, Mr. Bleed? Marinol, the man, the myth, the Lord. I mean, he is something else, that Marinol. Lost connection for Bernal in the last attack? Say what? No, doctor. No. So Yuta coming through with the final attack for Queen Walkers. Now, if they want, I mean, like, if they're hoping against hope that something can happen, they'd need to triple and have a fingers crossed for some massive defense, like a 1-star. But when we look at percentage, you see overall the percent differential for INTZ here. They're holding up a bit. So we'd be talking about very, very low percent 1-star. No, stranger things have happened. Just imagine. We've seen this happen. I might get my 14-13. I might. You're right. I might. At very least, I would love to see that. So Yuta coming in with the queen charge. Lalo. We've seen some beautiful Sui Lalo executions. And now we get to finish this off with a queen charge. Will we get to see the trip though? Will I get to see my 14-13 prediction? That's what I said at the beginning of this. I said the first match was going to be 14-13. We'd be seeing big stars. But no, I wouldn't see 13. It would be 14-12. It would be 14-12. They can't hit 13 here. But it'd be close. I could see my 14 stars from INTZ. Ooh, is this the wall break that he wanted to see for this queen here? I doubt it. Gets the third one in, trying to push this queen deeper into the base. This queen not going to be able to reach the scatter shots, but she'll get up to the single IT. This does narrow out a lot of pathing for the Lalo. It's not a bad position for her. She'll carry on. Still holding on to the ability. And if she can survive and help with some of the cleanup, that wouldn't be bad as he's starting this Lalo, and there's only a minute 6 on the clock. Warden's got to get through with the loons. Loons finally getting in there towards the town hall, converging together. Pops the ability. She's going to help getting through the scatter shot as well, though it does redirect its focus on the queen. Ooh, that's a good position for the queen, actually, to get into the core of the base. Take on a lot of that focus, but look how slow down these loons go. From that freeze from the town hall. One loon taking on the scatter shot in that safe zone. One more scatter shot to go. The healer's taking the distraction here. 35 seconds remain. That queen needed to pick up more work than she did. As good as it was for her to be in the core there, wasn't enough. And the loons fizzle out. 23 seconds remain. We'll see a little more percentage along the way, but not a trip. So Queen Walker's finishing off at 11 stars. And we have INTZ with the potential of picking up a total of 14 stars. That would be a big, big win for them as we head into the second matchup. What's going on, Million Roses? How are you? Your queen would have died 10 times already? Yeah. I don't know. We all can't have our queens trained the way these guys do. So we know this is a win for INTZ. 11-11 with INTZ and one more attack left to go. And who do we have? None other than Bernal on his other account. Now, it is unfortunate we don't get to see Ozzy, but I think this is a slight benefit as well. Though Ozzy's been in that top contender, it's not a bad thing to have Bernal replacing him with a second account, because equally, Bernal is one that can be relied on to pick up those trips, as we saw earlier. So Bernal bringing in that last attack here for INTZ. It is a win for them in the first matchup. We'll have to see what Queen Walkers can bring in the next round if they want to fight for the chance to win this. But we know INTZ has won every single match they've been in. They've won against every single clan they've faced off against this season. Will it be the same? Will we see them go 2 for 2 and not even need a third match to try and claim this title? Bernal's having internet issues. Is he? So bringing in the Queen Charge Lalo. Who won the first round? This is the first round, and it is a win for INTZ. So Queen's still going strong on this. Nice wall breakthrough. We've got the double layer. She's got good access here in the core. And she works her way in, freezing up that ground bow, trying to give the queen a little bit more room to breathe here as he works her through the core. Look at this. Look at this beautiful charge. Taking down the town hall, taking down the eagle. That is big value. RC's already down. His royal champ coming in to help cut the pathing here for the remainder of those outlying defenses. This is going to be easy work for this loon portion. Now, bear in mind, he's bringing only like 17 loons. It's not a crazy amount of loons. It's not very loon heavy. So he doesn't want too much left over on the space. He wants it very compartmentalized. Queen's going to have to force the ability to. He doesn't get that ability force. She gets knocked out by the scatter shot. Rip that queen. But did he get enough in that? Scatter shot's going to deal some nasty damage to these poor loons. Trying to sweep them through the haste. Ooh, that queen. And the enemy queen survives. He needed more out. I don't know how he didn't get that queen down. Doesn't matter. Still a win. It was such a beautiful charge. Unfortunate to see it die out like that due to the scatter shot and the queen ability not going off. Great Lalo there. If the queen had picked up that scatter shot and worked her way up, she would have been in radius of the enemy queen. All that would have been taken down and he would have been fine. That's what he needed. Still a great attempt. Still a great try, still a beautiful charge, but first match goes to INTZ. And doing some nice work on percent. You can see overall how close they actually kept it in the end here. INTZ did turn around and take the percent lead and obviously take the star lead, but 91.2% to 91.8%. INTZ bringing it in. And Marinol on his Ludin account. Hi, Ari. What's going on? Level 6 walls. Do it. Post it. So Marinol coming through with the Yeti bow bat. I think that's like the one thing we haven't seen in that first war. We did not. Did we see any bats? I don't think we saw any bat action in that first war. What's going on, Coda? Coda here rooting for Queen Walkers. Now, if Queen Walkers pick up the win, you can see above we have the match results, best 2 of 3. The first win came in for INTZ. And that means if they come in and pick up a win in this round, they're done. They've gone completely undefeated the entire series. However, if Queen Walkers pick up the win, they have the potential to bring in that upset. You don't know if this is an OP base, but it looks beautiful. YOLO. Yeah, interesting design. I mean, some people have things to say about some of these designs and what they look like. No, I'm not saying anything. But Warden leads a nice path. We've got Siege Barracks to work down the outside. Kind of taking a similar approach with what we saw the previous Yeti Smash. However, we have the addition of the bats to come in. Nice push into the core. Best thing about this is as soon as he's in there, he takes on a lot of the damage here in one foul swoop. The scatter shots going down, but he does fizzle out on the Yetis. That's not too big of a deal because he has the bats to come through for reinforcement, but he does have to worry about 3 wizard towers, and he's got that back end Tesla farm as well. RC's already out and underway, holding on to that ability as long as possible, cuts across where the hogs are, stays just behind them, which gives her a lot more value. He's very patient. Bat's finally coming underway, trying to lead the way where the RC is so he can maybe limit the need for those freezes. But first one has to go down, holding off that wizard tower. He's going to have to force a second because they do get that split and don't quite go in. Second one down. Still going to have to worry about that other wizard tower, but the RC coming through to get it done. She'll have enough steam to get that done. Freeze goes down to keep that RC moving strong. Bats do fizzle out for the most part, but he's got everything he needs to pick up this trip, including a back-end loon to help out if needed, but he doesn't. Doesn't even need that. Marinol. I mean, like, they're raring and ready to get this win underway. And if that isn't a statement to tell Queen Walkers they need to step up the game, they better prepare themselves if they want to try and bring it to 3 matches, I don't know what is. Beautiful first hit in there from Marinol. Yeah, definitely a triple on that one. There was no question about it. No question on that one. Really handled those back end bats nicely, holding off the wizard towers with the freezes. Nicely timed. This is a second match. Second match, Joachim. So if we ever do like best of 2 or best 2 out of 3, stats are always going to be at the top of the screen. So you can say we're 0-1. That gives you the indication. 0-1. Queen Walkers did not pick up that first win. INTZ came in with the first win in that match. So we'll have to take a look at the trips afterwards. The end of this war. Let's take a look as we have Stadra underway with the Yeti Smash. Now again, we get to see the quad quake in action here and bringing in the wall breaker to open up that initial chamber. You're thinking of a perfect 15. You think they're going to come in with a perfect war? Potentially? Maybe. I don't know. I mean, that was a great way to kick it off, though. Definitely bringing the fire on that one. Jasper Killer, thank you for the follow. So Warden pathing through to take on the town hall here before he gets things set and in place is my guess, because he is bringing the siege barracks. He wants to bypass that town hall so he can use his ability in the core, where he does have to worry about the eagle and the scatter shots. He's going to have a lot coming at him. We've got Expo surrounding, scatter shots, eagle, QueeN, CC, all in the center of this base. It's going to be a tough go. Are we going to see this lose a lot of heat? But taking down the town hall means he can use that warden ability as he gets deeper into the core here to keep everything safely past the impact of the scatter shot of the eagle. Raging everything up to work its way through. Quad quakes open. Big push. Warden ability offset to get through that center of the base. Lends some nice value. You can see it coming straight into that first scatter shot. He does have the one on the back end to worry about, but we need that RC to come in and help out. RC coming in from the top side of the base. Giants doing the tanking for her. QueeN works in. Does she have the access? Is that open? She could work into that corner and take out that scatter if she finds that opening. RC working through to try and take on that 3 o'clock chamber. It's looking good for Stadra. He made easy work. Scattershot is the one thing to worry about, but he's got a QueeN ability and a freeze. He's in a good position, especially with the RC taking care of the 3 o'clock side and everything coming together to work alongside of each other. We've got the sneaky goblins to try and get through those storages and the wizard to help out. 32 seconds. He's hoping this doesn't come down to time, but with how he's pathing here, I know it would be nice for him to have a wall break or something to get in. He's worrying about time now at this point. 17 seconds left to go. Having a QueeN ability is a great thing, but she's got to get through that wall. Now, if she had stayed in the center of this base, worked her way down, she could have picked up some big value. And this means Stadra's not going to be able to turn around and pick up the trip because there's not enough time to get it done. Try as the warden might, wind up with a 98%. Yeah, time fell on that one. Beautiful attack. Unfortunate to see the QueeN not pick up the value inside the base where she easily could have. So, INTZ already off to a nice early lead on this one. Furion, thank you for the follow. What's going on, Gaku? What did we understand so far in these esports? Just Warden Walk? I mean, Warden Walks do great work, but you do have to be mindful of the time. But equally, that wasn't necessarily the fault of the Warden on it. It was more unfortunate pathing with the QueeN not taking out the scatter shot where she actually had the access to. So, Bernal, bring it back around. Are you expecting we're going to see a triple in this one? Bernal picked up a triple in one of two of his hits in the last war. The other one actually should have been a triple, but he didn't get the QueeN ability off. She died out, and that's what really cost him the 3-star. A couple of loons would have tripled it. So coming through with a hybrid. He's going to bring the mustache power and bring another triple. We'll see. We will see, Skazzy. You think the QueeN's going to walk here? You think she's going to go inside the base? You think she's going to go inside that core? Looks like it. So QueeN not picking up the multi. Not picking up what he had intended here. Tries to send in another Hail Mary there. It doesn't work out for him. These healers are going to get picked off by the multi. Tries to freeze it up to keep the QueeN moving along. Very least she picks up the value of the eagle. But he got no luck with those super wall breakers and getting this queen inside, and that third one definitely not doing him any favors. So queen not necessarily picking up the value he had intended. That back end multi could be a problem for him. We'll see how this navigates around. Warden ability off to keep everything safely through. The impact of the Gigabomb from the Town Hall as it goes down, explodes, and can deal some nasty damage to the troops that course through its path. Still have the blimp to come in for the back end. So this is going to be a big help, especially with that scatter shot there. Doesn't make it in, but he's got the hogs to try and lead the way. He just doesn't get that early impact onto the scatter shot, so loses out on this one. Is this shaping up to be the defense that Queen Walkers wanted to see? 38 seconds left, and with a scatter shot and a multi remaining on that back end, and not a lot of time on the clock, we're going to see it fizzle out and run out. I mean, we're going to see it fizzle out before it even runs out of time. Miners will pick up a little bit more value. Now, this leaves a big opening for Queen Walkers to actually pick up a trip and take over a percent lead. Yeah, that was a tough go because the queen did not pick up the value. The queen should have worked through this top side of the base, taking down the multi. The third layer wall break would have gotten her access to that scatter shot. Had she picked up that value, we would have seen a different outcome with this one. So a 90% here sits INTZ in a position that Queen Walkers could easily take over a lead, but they do need to pick up the trip. The mustache got in the way? Maybe. You could blame the mustache. He knew the queen wouldn't walk in. So he dropped the king to funnel. Yeah. Either way, it did not work out for him. So 5 stars on the board for INTZ. We'll see what Queen Walkers can do with this opportunity. And sometimes that's all it's about, is opportunity. It's always a tough go when that happens, and you really can't do much to recover from it. He forgot to trim his I think his mustache has too much impact on his attacks, apparently. I'm a fraud, says Queen Walkers has a chance. Yeah, this is an early opening for them to try and take over the lead here and force us into a third match if they get the win. So Chukas bringing it in. Chukas coming through with the Yeti Smash. Looks like a good opening for Yeti Smash because we have narrowed out pathing, which we know Yetis actually do well with. When you can navigate them right, you can pick up some good value. Let's see, Warden starting up at the 12 o'clock side here. And we'll see what the game plan is going to be for the Town Hall if he's heading straight in. Because with no blimp here and seeing the siege barracks, it would mean he has to bypass this with the Yeti Smash and work everything in through a back-end chamber. Likely that Warden chamber coming into the scatter shots. So King lining up the funnel. We're going to see a straight pass through the Town Hall, the jump leading over into that Warden chamber on the back end. And the RC coming in for support, likely from the 430 side of the base here. So Pekka leading a nice pathing here. King gets a little hung up, doesn't necessarily cross over to help out. Pekka did some decent work along the way. Gets through the Town Hall. Jump getting everything into the opposite side of the base here. Additional Yetis coming out. No hogs here, but the Yetis could do some good tanking for the RC. RC is actually coming in from the opposite side, helping to work through the scatter shots, ensuring that those go down. We have the Yetis taking on the Queen, and ideally taking on that single IT. RC continuing to path through. Needs to force that ability to get past. Queen, unfortunately, has to force her ability here as well. But with the jumps that he has for this back end, it connects everything to head into the single and the multi chambers. But without the power of this queen and with the RC dying out, he's got nothing left to get this done. So that hope of trying to pick up that trip is all diminished here. Though the queen's actually still up, working along the outside edge. Warden could stand a chance to maybe get through this multi-IT, which is out of reach of the queen. Queen's very low health, no healers on her. Warden's doing some good work. This might stand a chance if he can keep this queen going long enough. I mean, it's narrow. It's narrow. And with that king on the outside of the base, this is over. Warden dies out. Queen does not have enough to get it done. Man, if only she had some healers. Not enough. What's going on, Francisco? How are you? So a 93%, again, we get to see some nice high percentage coming in here from Queen Walkers, close to getting these raids done, like super close, including that 98%. That time failed. But it's the trips. They need those stars to come through and get this win over INTZ. So INTZ stay on top with the star lead as we head into those start attacks. What's my local time? It's 12:16 right now. I'm in New York, so I'm Eastern. INTZ definitely holding strong defensively this war, and they're definitely putting up a good show on their stars as well. That's a dangerous combination when you see a team coming through like that. And INTZ is not messing around. They want this win. They want to once and for all win this tournament and show that they can do it undefeated throughout the season. So Cavarudo bringing it through. And Cavarudo coming in and encountering an entire Tesla farm on that 12 o'clock side where he intended to bring in the blimp. Sends in a hog. Still comes into traps. He knew once he saw that he was going to be in trouble for bringing in this blimp, and there was really nothing he could do. Yeti's missed the mark. Gaku definitely has some tricks up his sleeve to hold back INTZ in that opener. But is that going to be enough to keep Cavarudo at bay? Definitely baited on that one. A baited blimp entry using a Tesla farm to protect it, and some traps on the back end that he knew was going to be enough to hold it off. So continues to charge his queen through, has to readjust his plan ever so slightly to pick up the value that he missed out on with the scatter shot still alive. Yeah, most are saying this is going to cost him dearly, and it just might. And when you don't pick up that value out of your Yeti blimp, you know it's a tough go. So he adjusts with the queen charge to work through. Hybrid's going to come in directly onto the town hall side. King lining up that pathing, but he needs his queen to move along. Has a freeze to try and hold off the single, but I don't think it's going to be enough, especially with the ice golem coming out. So queen forces that ability, tries to keep her alive. Is he going to freeze the eagle? Is he going to freeze the single? Try and keep that momentum moving. She gets hung up on the walls. He knows he's got to let her go. And with not picking up what he had intended in this is not going to be enough for the hybrid to get it done. I mean, the town hall has even been bypassed. Miners finally get that going, but the warden ability has already been used. Is it enough to get past and keep things safe to pick up the percentage? Either way, this is a big defense. He brings in the assistance of the RC because he knows that was potentially going to be a 1-star. Picks up the town hall, picks up the percent needed, but look at this overall percentage. 53. He'll have a little bit more that he can pick up with the Eagles still alive. RC is going to try and pick it off so he can get more value. It's not enough to get that down, which means we're going to see not a crazy amount of percent go up here because the Eagle will still continue to beat down on the remaining troops. Gaku holding another solid defense here, which we saw in that first war. Gaku with a big defense, even bigger this time around. Pressure of the finals proving tough. Yeah, I mean, you have some good base building that you do get to see. And this is a prime example.
Oh,
As Carbon would say, holy. What's going on, late sleeper?
Please tell Tiffany I miss her dearly and have finally conquered Bobby Serta. His arms are broken and he will be leaving soon, so we may continue our romance.
Oh, snap. Poor Bobby Serta. What's going on, late sleeper? Good to see you. I hope you're well. Thank you so much for that resub. That's a long time resub. I got to get some love in the chat for that. 29 months. Thank you, late sleeper. Late sleeper, I need to be on your diet because he's lost a lot of weight during quarantine time. So big defense there for Gaku. But the question is, can they come through? Pick up the triple to take over the percent lead. And we're talking about a big percent lead if they do that. So Klaus could be the one to get it done. Klaus came through with the only triple in the last war for Queen Walkers. Can he do it again and bring that hope to Queen Walkers to get this done? It's been a fight. They've been working great as a team, keeping that percentage high despite not picking up those trips. But this is where we need to see the 3-star on the board for Queen Walkers to try and power through and pick up a win this match. 53 pounds since February. Wow. So Klaus bringing in the Sui Lalo here. King lining up the pathing. He's got a nice open access to the town hall. Wall break, easy way to get that queen in, to take it on. See if she actually works her way in. That storage shouldn't be too much to pull her out of the way. Wizard Tower's right there in front of her. Magarajan, thank you for the follow. Nice push in for the queen. Simple but effective value on the Sui opener. We have the Stone Slammer to tank for this Lalo portion. Good position for it to be in because of the scatter shot. We've got the E-Drag to work right behind. Now 2 Skelly spells to help take down that enemy queen. And likely the RC that's down in that chamber. As the E-Drag tries to work through, take on the scatter shot. It's in a good position, but gets too much damage on it before it goes down. That scatter shot's still up. Not a good thing here. You're going to see these loons get swiped through. Tries to freeze it up. Freeze goes off just in the nick of time, but they took on a huge beating. Nicely placed haste to sweep them through, but he's got the other back end scatter that he needs to freeze up. Still taking on way too much damage, and this tornado trap is going to do this in, holding off the loons from taking that down. Warden's going to take on the rest of that impact, get knocked out. This had such a nice position and movement. But that initial scatter shot not going down with the E-Drag. That tornado trap on the back end. Marinol says, I know you guys have some tricks up your sleeves, but so do we. Watch out for those traps. And Klaus held off from trying to take over the percent advantage. INTZ still carry on with the star lead. This is looking heavily in favor for INTZ to pick up the second and final win here. What's going on, Breeze? How are you? Good to see you. He got really unlucky with the Stone Slammer and that rage. It did, unfortunately, get unlucky that he didn't get that scatter shot down. Would have been a different story if that went down. So an 84% here. Now we still have Queen Walkers riding high on percentage, but their biggest downfall is the stars. INTZ has definitely been working in some solid base building before this war in preps of going up against Queen Walkers. Now we have Marinol coming back in with the exclusion of Ozzy, because he did get a ban on his second account, unfortunately, in ESL this weekend. He's unable to play, and they've had to make it up. Bernal coming in, bringing in a second account in the first war. Marinal coming through, bringing in his second account for the second war. Marinal coming in with the Yeti bow bat. Now taking advantage of the funnel that's naturally created from the style base, you can see the voided out chamber, which gives the warden easy pathing to actually work through and in together with the Yetis. Siege barracks to work along the outside edge. And we still have the bats and RC for reinforcement. Now where he's charging in from, picking up some nice solid value, taking on the town hall and the scatter shot, where the warden ability makes 100% sense to use here. Takes on a lot of impact and keeps them safe through that. And they are able to get through to that back end scatter with a nice range and reach as soon as they can get past that queen. Hogs coming through for additional reinforcement, but we have yet to see the bats even drop. And this is shaping up beautifully already. So bats coming from that 5 o'clock side of the base, heading straight into the eagle, but he's got the scatter to worry about. He has to be on guard. RC taking it on. He freezes it up, so there's no worries about it, especially with the RC taking on the heat of that last impact from the eagle. She does die out. Ooh, bat split. Only a few get that impact. They're able to continue powering through. Multi-targeting Inferno is the one last risk for them, but he has the Warden coming through. We do see them fizzle out. Warden trying to take out that multi. He's not going to be able to do this. This is going to be the defense here for Chukas. Now with Chukas holding this defense, I mean, we're seeing back to back, we get to see the opportunity for Queen Walkers to try and come through and pick up the triple to gain the percent advantage and gain the lead. This is almost teasing them into this, saying it's in your grasp. You can get this done. And this is what we saw in the Queen Walkers Vatang War. Vatang kept coming in. They won that first match. They kept trying to hold Queen Walkers at bay. And in the end, Queen Walkers came around and said, enough is enough. We're going to get that trip and get it done. Are we going to see a similar result here? What's the prize pool of this tourney, IG? So winner, the winning clan brings home 500 cash, and that's split between the clan. Second place gets 12,500 gems, split between the clan. And then third place, which is actually ATN, who we saw yesterday in the third place match against Existence, they walked away with 5,000 gems to split between the clan. And then there's also MVP and best defense. So Rigo Torres, the official MVP, Ozzy now out of the running for it. Rigo Torres has gone perfect this season. He's had a perfect hit rate. So I think it's perfect that he actually wins that one. And then Boom holding the best defense as well. You guys see Universe is trying really, really hard to give Queen Walkers a chance. They really are. But this is not the first time we've been in this situation. Like I said, we saw this in the quarterfinals against Vatang, where they kept having those opportunities. And it wasn't until the last match that we actually saw them pull through and get the win. So it's up to Gaku. Now Gaku, surprisingly, we did not see a triple come in from in the last war. Is that going to be the same case here? Or is he going to come in and say, enough is enough, guys. We're picking up this trip. We're taking the lead, and we're going to try and make it that much harder for INTZ to pull the final win here. So bringing in the hybrid. Did this wall break not come through effective? Was that a wall on the outside edge? Really? Did that super wall breaker go for the wrong wall? Is that some 200 IQ base building? Is that a wall compartment right there on the outside edge? Yi Chen Li, thank you for the follow. We've got to look at that again. That was a super wall breaker fail, though. And the healers die out. The queen dies out. This goes all sorts of wrong. So Seleno holding some big potential defense on this one. Gaku's gonna, have a hard go to try and recover. And with the town hall, with nothing going into the town hall, the RC has to try and get it down. She gets it done. King on the outside, Peck on the outside. RC trying to help this move along. We've got the reinforcement of the Hogs, but he lost all those miners. Queen down. Barely any miners left over. And this is exactly what INTZ needed to see to try and get things back on course. Not be too far behind on the percent, but also keep Queen Walkers at bay. So INTZ continue on holding the star lead. Not percent, but star. Yeah, definitely. I think that super wall breaker just caught him off guard and definitely changed the course of his ability to really try and focus on altering this attack, but really there was no good go on it. We've got to take a quick look because to me, what it looks like is that there was a single wall on the outside and that's what caught the super wall breaker and didn't allow that to work through. Refit says the next 3 wins the match. So you're 100% correct on that. If INTZ come in, pick up the 3-star, it is a win for them and an overall win for the season. But let's take a quick look at that. We don't often see super wall breakers fail. And I can't say that it was necessarily a fail there because it did hit a wall. It just didn't get what he needed out of it. So Queen lines up here. Oof. Oof. That was dirty. That was dirty. Didn't even make it close enough to get off the next wall. So Budweiser coming in. Are you really? 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 I just win it. Really? If anyone in game, any of the what? You got to be kidding me. Any of the players want to let streamers in, maybe? Any players that are out there? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you to whoever let me in. Yeah, spectator spots are going quick. This triple comes down to the wire. And we've got Seleno after that big defense coming through. Okay, can we not Fortnite? Fortnite also getting some advertising on the stream here. Whew, thank you to whoever let me in. Because this is a very critical attack here. If Seleno picks up the trip, it's a win. An INTZ win it all. Coming in with a hybrid. I got to say, the base building coming in from INTZ, they've been doing Queen Walkers dirty. I don't think Queen Walkers was expecting this. Sell your spectator spot for money? Seriously, right? So Queen charges through. Beautiful position for her. I mean, this is shaped up nicely already. The value that the Queen's got, the pathing for the hybrid, looking easy peasy so far. Wizards continue on for the cleanup along the outside edge of the base. He still has the RC ability. Have we seen the Hogs come out? Yes, Hogs have come out for that reinforcement. Help work through. They are in the center of the base, taking on the heat from the scatter shot. Miners sweep around that multi very quickly. This is it. This is it. That is... Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Miners still need to get past that scatter shot. I mean, that scatter shot is trying to defend itself as much as possible. Miners taking some nasty damage. Queen still survives. He's got Miners on the outside edge. Queen's going to need to be the one to get this done. But 38 seconds, I'm calling it. I'm calling it. There's no two ways about it. This is it. This is the win for INTZ. They have had a perfect season, undefeated throughout this entire season. Undefeated. They won their entire group stage, made it through the playoffs, and here in the finals, don't even give Queen Walkers a chance at a third round. 12 stars up on the board. Commendable to the defenses we have seen coming through from Queen Walkers this round. But I think INTZ definitely came in with what Queen Walkers didn't expect, and that was some really nasty baited entries. And that held them strong through this. Those defenses combined with their superb offensive performance brings them through with the win. Queen Walkers, best they can do here is put up 11 stars. But this has been an incredible showing from INTZ. Still one more attack left to go. Let's see how Queen Walkers decides to finish it off. If they can finish it off strong, Yuta the last one to come in with the attack. Nice work. Can we definitely get some hype in the chat for INTZ for that solid performance in both matches, and equally the incredible defensive performance to see them hold off the likes of Gaku and Klaus, some of the best hitters around. I think that says quite a bit about what they've been putting into that base building. So Yuta coming in with this final attack, and while we know this will not change any of the results, will not make it so that they could come in with another matchup, we know it's ultimately the INTZ war. We want to see this finish off strong, but will we see more defense here from Marinol? You went for dinner? What did you miss? You missed INTZ winning it all. We didn't even get 3 matches out of this. INTZ definitely flexing how strong they are. Will be interesting to see how they do in the World Championships as well. But we're also going to have to find out what the case is going to be with Ozzy's accounts banned. I think that's going to be a tough go. There's been a lot to actually discuss what we're going to see for INTZ in the future. With Ozzy off the roster, I don't know what they're going to do about an account, if he'll be able to run an account coming through. I'll show the replays, I promise. And we'll show the replays. So a beautiful queen charge into the center of the base. We have the Lalo to follow around once he's able to get a little bit deeper into the core here. But double air gives him all he needs. Just wants to take on that enemy queen. Ooh, and the queen does not survive. There is nothing to take this queen out unless he has a dragon in that blimp. But he still had the RC to worry about, and that makes it a tougher go. And he knows this. He knows this at this point. So working around what he can do. He knows very unlikely. He knows it's not going to be the 3-star, but he's trying to recover, ensure that he has the opportunity at least to pick up a 2-star. And I think this is where we're going to need to see the blimp coming through, taking on the town hall, because he knows with the queen, with the scatter shot and the RC all here on the outside edge, it's a tough go. He manages to take down the RC. So queen's the one worry that's going to pick off the loons, spreading that blimp straight across. The warden ability to head into the town hall to pick up. That safe 2-star misses out. What do we got in there? We've got the Yetis at least. Will the Yetimites get it done? Rages them up. Is able to break through to get that done. Picks up the town hall and gets the 2-star. So we see Queen Walkers finishing off 10 stars. This is how superb INTZ's defense has been, that they've been able to hold off Queen Walkers from picking up a triple this entire match and only allowing them to pick up 1 triple in the last war. And again, this speaks nothing about Queen Walkers and their ability to triple, but more so speaks about the work INTZ has put into their base building for this matchup. We do know that Rigo Torres is going to be the official MVP here. We knew that as soon as Ozzy was knocked out due to the ban, unfortunately. So Rigo Torres with that perfect hit rate, winning MVP. We've got Boom with, I believe, because this hasn't been updated, but as it stood yesterday, and I think it continued and carried over, Boom with the best defense. But let's talk about the prize pool. So yesterday we saw alternate attacks come in, win that third place match and win the third place prize over Existence. So coming through with the 5,000 gems to be split up between the team. Second place today now goes to Queen Walkers, getting 12,500 gems to split between the team. And INTZ with the big prize, $500 to be split between their team. But we do get to see Rigo with the MVP, $50 win there, and Boom with the best defense, $50 for him. A nice prize pool that's distributed fairly well for those winners. So it's been an incredible season of EWU. I can't tell you how excited I am to see the next season to come, to see the invited teams. INTZ are going to be the ones to beat because they went through the season undefeated and claiming their final victory. So GG to INTZ. Well fought war there from Queen Walkers, and overall a nice solid season from all of the teams that participated.